I understand the cleaning industry deals with a lot of negative perception. The assumption is that somebody's cleaning because they're not that smart, they're not that talented, they lack certain skills in other areas. But
they can't speak the language.
They don't speak the language. But for many who have arrived here, are here legally, and are working in the industry, part of it is because low barrier to entry.
It's an easy job for people to take on. It's an entry-level position.
Mm-hmm.
There's entry-level positions in a lot of different industries. If you look at restaurants, dishwashers are the entry-level position within them. And, janitorial and custodial contracting companies, the frontline employee is the entry-level position doing the daily cleaning. Maybe not, the floors, carpet, it takes a little bit more skill, but the entry level is being able to empty trash, clean restrooms, sweep, mop, vacuum, dust. So yes, it doesn't require a lot of education in the form of you need to speak the language. You teach people to do the work. Yes, language can be a barrier, but in today's day and age, there are so many tools that are out there to help aid in that. And there are so many different languages spoken when I go around to different facilities to train, everything from Spanish to Swahili to Russian.
Ukrainian, I know.
Ukrainian, yes. There are a lot of different dialects that are out there. Even within the Spanish dialect, there's several.
You had just described to me that in the middle of a training session, an owner was sharing a story, and that was about how one of their employees had been told something really awful.
Unfortunately, yes, and it happens often. And as we talked, people are looking down upon people in this industry, and maybe they can't necessarily speak the language, but most of them understand it. Look, I'm not fluent in Spanish. Most of my company is Spanish speaking. I don't speak it very well, but I understand it very well. So I can almost liken it to that situation where people are saying something and they don't think I understand, and I do. This guy in the training was telling us a story about how his employee had overheard something to the effect that, why don't you all go back to your own country? That's like the ultimate insult.
Joel, since everyone here in the States came from someplace else, we're not talking about anything else. But what we really are talking about is respect.
And we need to treat everybody like a human being. Oftentimes it's not. It still comes down to what does that person do? And as a business owner, like this gentleman, what do I do? How do I defend my staff when they want to all up and quit and walk out? And it was nothing that I did.
And keep a customer.
Similar to another podcast we did, it's that delicate conversation you have to have with a client. You have to call them up. You have to tell them what happened. If you can get dates, times, if there's room numbers, or, it happened in the gym area in this place, or it happened in the medical area of this place. Even it could be as generic as that, it helps. Because in today's day and ages, most companies have some sort of surveillance going on within their company so that they can, if they can narrow in on a time frame, they can at least see the people that would have to be talked to. If it was you and I in a hallway that happened to be identified as the two individuals, then we're going to be interviewed and say, hey, this was the situation. What do you know about this? Oh, well, I heard this. I heard that. It was said by this person. It was said by that person. But a full-blown investigation does have to happen.
Okay.
Because laws have changed in a lot of states, and it's considered a hostile workplace, and we're not allowed to do that. As an employer, we're even charged with how our clients treat our employees. Now, we can't train our customers, but we're held to a higher level that we still have to protect our employees from that type of environment. So standing up and talking to the client and getting to an investigation, finding out the truth is the most important.
Okay. In advising your customer, maybe the inside team leader, because they might have been employees, say they could be employees, or the cleaning company owner, the shift manager, whoever that person in a leadership role who received the story. They don't really want to invest the time into this, but now they have to.
And it might even be a good time. I mean, when you're calling somebody like myself, who's an outside consultant, more trained on how to handle this, maybe the cleaning consultant can step in, or better yet, if you have a human resources consultant, similar to a company that I push all the time because my own company's Herman Parson from C, HR and recruiting, who is skilled at this and has all the letters of the alphabet after his name for all the different certifications he has. Let's face it, most cleaning companies can't afford the types of certifications to have individuals with that when they're the small to mid-sized company. Maybe as they grow, they can, but you might want somebody who's more skilled at this and have that business owner sit alongside that consultant who's guiding this investigation and talking to all parties that are involved, both with the customer as well as your own staff.
More likely to have a solid employee handbook for them as well.
Correct.
Yeah. Joel, it's a lot to take in.
Owning a business is not for the faint of heart.
No.
And we deal with a lot of topics, and a lot of people do not realize the many hats that we have to wear.
Mm-hmm.
And the types of situations that we have to deal with, as well as trying to keep a very harmonious company and our clients happy and our own staff happy.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you can keep staff happy, everybody wins.
Yeah. Joel, thanks for fighting the good fight, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you.